Connected. Yeah. Now, yeah, myself. Like always. Ah, like every single time. So keen. It was a new. What did it say? What did it say? What did it say? What? New window. Expertos de la Fórmula Uno analizaron y criticaron. Fuck, I couldn't read that. Moved so fast. Anyway, Cyber Week. Gol. Okay. Uh, wow, so real. Uh, so, I, I don't know. Uh, Good evening. Here we are. It's another nice evening. Uh, I have been trying to talk for the last 10 minutes, 20 minutes or so, and I don't know, I haven't talked that much, so as always, when I don't talk, I forget to immerse myself in the action of speaking as I end up I end up losing my voice. I don't know why. Anyway, the point is here. So that's sort of enough for me. Uh, Somewhat, yeah, I think so. Uh, I need to check the audio. How is the audio? And why can't I hear myself? Warning: content can be politics, intoxication, consumption of substances. Wow, so real. So true, Mufi. It works. The point is the audio works. So today, what? Days? What? Format? What? Anyway, close. Uh, Wait, we're back. Now, how does it work? It works perfectly fine. Good evening. Good. What's the expression? When there is a conglomerate of people, good. It's something like not meeting, something like that. Anyway, yeah, I don't have that much more to do. Actually, I just want to get an image, a new, different image. Which one? What is this? What is? Oh my god! I love this image actually. There we go. Watch this. It's wonderful. Um, so, question is, do we have to wait anything else? I don't know. I don't have the tendency to actually wait if we don't need to in terms of there is nothing else to actually wait for. So I don't think we have to wait 4 minutes. 4 minutes, it's like way too much, man. I have an idea. Have an idea. Let me try something. It was nothing, anyways. I don't know. I can say, I can say something. I was thinking probably it would have been pretty fine to have something like the bar tomorrow. But we don't. What a crazy thing, you know. Suddenly, not everything goes the way we want things to go, actually. So, can happen, I guess. I don't know. No idea. The point is, at least here we are. I am happy with that, I guess. So, That's more than enough for me. To some degree, yeah. Compared to not having anything, this is already fine. Point is also, I don't know, the the why is the microphone so low out of nowhere? Point is, we there are way too many things happening out of nowhere. I guess the life existence, as always, moves way too fast. That's as always uncomfortable. So I don't know. At least we can continue living through the action and the emotions of life, but seeing everything go so fast is kinda, I wouldn't say annoying. I think it's beyond the point of annoying. It's more along the lines of, man, it would be good if things could happen otherwise with some more separation. I don't want to. I know I can. Let's say it like this. I know I can experience everything that I want to, actually, but I need to organize myself way too much to do that. I think that's the problem. It's like, oh no, oh no, no, don't make me be a responsible human being. No, no, don't make me be responsible. I cannot do that, but it's fine. Even then, it's not like it actually is altered or something truly, in a sense, not negative. It's just different from what the expectations themselves are. Like, let's say you don't actually expect, in many cases, at least in my experience, you don't have in mind all the events that occur all at the same time. It's more along the lines, it's far simpler if you just imagine some things that might happen and focus on them. But when life handles you like a handful, that's when it gets more complicated. Not in the sense that it actually becomes a complicated matter, a whole mess or anything like that. It's more along the lines of just, and I just want to have a chill day or day after the rest of my life, something like that. Let's say hours in which I don't need to be stressed about anything in existence. Yet it ends up being quite a bad option to actually do that. To not being mind empty is not something that this current world allows to some degree, I guess. Or not that it doesn't allow it. You can actually live quite a chill life without much action in many ways. The issue is it also is devoid of much intensity in the good side. Also, it's not like all the action is bad, but also it's like not all the action itself is good neither. So if you reduce experiences and such overall, at that point it already becomes like, wow, maybe I am missing things, and at least there is not that feeling. But I don't know, it's like periods of way too much intensity or something like that, and man, what that thing used to be like that. Anyway, even then, life as a whole is, I wouldn't say surmountable, not because it isn't, but rather is fully experienceable. I don't think it is a word. I don't think the English language utilizes experienceable as a noun or as an is it an adjective? It's just life is something that you can go through actually, no matter what, which way you choose. You can actually be capable of going through it as long as you're willing to do so. So that's fine. And anyway, good evening, good morning, good night. I don't know. Welcome. Today, what do we have in store today? As always, I don't think I need to explain what is freeform. Freeform is literally nothing at all. It's in itself certainly the most expressive way, direct way of being free. No central discussion about anything today. So that's quite good on one hand. On the other, what are we going to actually be mentioning? I don't know. Many things are going to be happening. I I have to actually organize myself. Next week is going to be like an incredibly busy week out of nowhere. So I was trying to say, I didn't exactly say it. I still have to sort that out particularly. Um, but yeah, the expression of life happens, and you just not exactly that you learn to react to it. It's not what the fuck is going on with the internet anyway. It's not along the lines of, oh yeah, life happens and you suffer because existence carries you in a way in which you don't actually want to be carried or something like that. It's just, I don't know, I live life and in the process of doing that out of nowhere you find out so much about existence itself that is surprisingly, I wouldn't just say entertaining. It's nice, yeah, but it's still not the most surprising thing that you end up finding out. It's just the action of, despite the events themselves that come at one, the capacity to continue traversing and doing all the other things that also one desires in a moderate manner, also, I guess. I don't know. Still, no matter the physical growth, the mental growth of understanding how to be moderate in the, I wouldn't say in the right aspects, in all aspects. Is there still something to continue working on also? It's nice, unavoidably it's nice to at least try to do things well. Or, yeah, I guess that's the expression. Well enough so that nothing actually harms, even if by nature, in a less than sufficient amount, it doesn't harm. Anything can, in excess, be damaging, and that is what requires a lot more attention, I guess. It's something along the lines of, actually, I just can't forget that I need to consciously look out at what I am doing, not just move through life and through the motions of being, not enter, as always, not fall in the automated pattern of being, but rather pay attention to what I am doing. And at that point, it does become, I, yeah, I guess the expression is far more complicated to do that. But that is the universal human experience. When you stop paying attention to things, in this case to life itself, you actually find out many surprises during the way along the road, something like that. And it's fine. You just learn to deal with all of that, I will say. Also, why is it lagging, brother? Why is it actually lagging? Is it going to be one of those days? I hope it doesn't actually crash, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know why it is lagging. I think that internet wasn't malfunctioning thus far, but okay. Point being, besides this other more basic discussion of, oh yeah, things, uh, are we actually going to die? Is is internet going to actually not function at all today? It's going to be so funny. Uh, anyway, continue. I was trying to say, I don't know. We have at least the future keeps on being bright. Many things ahead of us. Um, and yeah, labor will pick up its pace to some degree, and it's nice to have things to look forward to. It's crazy also to see how much we can develop ourselves. This concept of I can look towards the future, not just as an ideal thing, but also start. I remember this concept of earlier confrontation, or yeah, I guess the proper word is more along the lines of preparation, but it's more along mentally. I like to see it not just as I want to prepare myself for things. I also want to figure out how to make things work before I actually have to suffer in the moment of doing them. You know, that part of life is good, and that's where it does sort of become crazy to see that wow, we can actually try so much. We can actually try so many things. It's incredibly surprising to see how much of a huge load we can actually put in any kind of, that's what I'm trying to say, any kind of project end up possessing the opportunity or gives us the possibility of placing a lot of our time on it in a way in which we end up actually feeling like we gained something, and that is, I personally think it's good. I Although otherwise I will unavoidably say wow. And it's kinda crazy to see that, yeah, certainly, to some degree, whatever is it that we try or that we arrange is unavoidably a matter that we end up having to confront something not, yeah, not unavoidable in the sense that we must confront everything that we plan. I guess you can plan something, you can give up on things, and you can, at best, just have to deal with the failure of not having the possibility of living the life that you wanted, or fulfilling, reaching for the dream that you had and such. That is fine, but it's more along the lines of, yeah, as long as we end up truly possessing the intention to accomplish what we set ourselves up for, it's crazy to see that somehow that's, I guess, the most game aspect of life. I don't know. I don't want to trivialize it too much, but it's to try to paint it in some understandable manner. How many things can anyone actually try to do? It's, I guess, unavoidable. The expression itself is, it's nice. It's more than wonderful to have the possibility of truly enjoying possessing not just a dream. Those tiny goals also end up counting, you know, objectives towards the future, and all of that is a good thing. But in itself, it's crazy to see how much it's possible to actually do that. It's, I think that the expression is, in many instances, we don't actually talk about that aspect that much. We actually just live in a constant focus in the present. At the best, we discuss the past, but we don't orient ourselves that much towards the future. And I don't know. As always, it's not like I have done no studying towards the subject of why is it that we as people try or not try, or on the opposite end, give up on things. In this case, possessing hopes for any kind of thing that it's in itself lays in the future, yeah. But still, it's like sometimes I guess I feel as if in most cases we didn't even try that much, or not in the right time, let's say. It is unavoidably when you're growing up that universal experience of as a child we all have that so-called spark in our eyes that also reflects in the way in which we interact with the rest of the world and such. And that is a nice thing in the sense of we unavoidably set out goals. Issue, we set out for way too many unachievable, all of them at the same time things. One of the goals is something that we can actually accomplish, but to never truly organize ourselves and try to possess just one thing that we are truly going to commit ourselves to do, to not do that, is to unavoidably set ourselves up for failure. So, a part of growing up is learning to concentrate yourself, to focus your interest, your energies, your life to some degree on that. But it's like, I don't know, I don't want to trace it too much on the concept of, oh, yeah, yeah, it's a traumatic experience. You get told no once or twice, and now you don't want to ever try. No, it's not so much like that. It's more along the lines of we just want to do something, and for some reason, the human spirit is quite easy to subdue somehow. It's not so necessary for us to keep on trying. Once we experience that first resection, so to speak, yeah, at that point already, we sort of abandon the ship. It doesn't need to be the case. We don't have the obligation to actually give up so much on hopes and dreams and such, but it feels like we just stopped trying somehow. Somewhere along the path towards adulthood, it's a normal thing for most to not even try. Not in the sense, once again, I am not trying to say, oh yeah, everybody is failing because they are not doing it. It's just, I don't know, I think it isn't as much of a hopeless topic as I could have thought about it before. I think that's the expression, the proper expression of this idea. Otherwise, you hear people that says, "Yeah, wow, it's so hard to actually have any interest on things. It's so complicated to actually want anything. This world is so limiting in the human will." I don't know. I think it's far more about making it work in a sense in which you just find a way to navigate the issues and not just stops. I guess the expression is more along the lines of the actual barricades that the life itself, quote unquote, puts up, or things that appear throughout the course of our own existence towards and our existence also in relationship with those things that we want. And that's normal. I mean, it's sort of disingenuous to say that no plan will ever have any kind of hiccup. At the best, the most efficient plan will be the one that has all contingencies in mind so that whenever anything bad happens, it gets almost instantly solved. But even the most perfectionist of humans having in themselves interfunctioning in this world, the mode of, yeah, I have to subdue issues that might appear along the ways, I guess, or I might have to just accept that I have to make it happen, even if the thing that I want might seem unrealistic. I truly just need to figure out a plan which is sufficient enough, even for those cases, and that's fine. And that's also something that we as humans in general have to learn. And unavoidably, in my case, I am still trying to do so. And I feel like it isn't all that hard as in other instances people have described it, I guess. But anyway, as I was saying, even if that is the case, there are still way too many things to keep on working, and there is so much to actually set up and make sure that happens. But it's the, I don't know, it's the process of continuing to move along the path towards all the other hopes and such. So it's just a normal part of the process. It's, I guess, the definition, a more exact definition would be that sensation of estrangement once you realize that, wow, somehow actually things are moving in ways in which indeed I am slowly but surely accomplishing what I want. It's not so as not such a depressing world actually. Once you see that no matter what problems I can personally sense that might exist out there, my actions themselves lead to consequences that I am capable of dealing with. No matter how many of them there are, life is far more bearable than what I could have used to think about before. I guess that's another way to say it, probably. But it's fine. I don't know. The point is, even then, it's not like there is actually nothing to work on. It's not a point of, oh yeah, yeah, I have today. Oh, I come here from my mountain of knowledge. No, no. It's just another instance of, yeah, things are fine and things are moving. And just with that, I feel not just fulfilled in a sense, which is also true, but also, on the other hand, interested in the reality of, and you know what? Despite things being well, it's crazy to see that things in themselves move so slowly. But I don't know. I some degree, having to be honest, it's still. I still find myself having an incredibly hard time dealing with that incredibly huge desperation that people has out there to some degree. It's, I don't know. I guess some terms are far more difficult than others to accept depending on the context, but yeah, it does feel like the the degree of anxiety that exists out there comes more than anything else from the arising group hy- hysteria that is present amongst any community. It's so crazy to see so many people so capable of getting utterly anxious for not finding themselves having all the stuff that they think out they want, that they put their efforts into, that they are looking forward to, that blah blah blah. It's so, I don't know. I don't want to say it's so easy to give in. I don't think it is so easy. It's a matter of somehow cultivating resilience and the capacity to just accept that even if it takes, I don't know, a year, a decade, or whatever, things are going to go in the way in which I want them to go. Even if it is that the case, I am at some point going to have what I want, and that's more than enough. That's knowing that the even if I am not willing to call it a necessity, the objective which I set out for is going to be accomplished at some point in my existence. That's fine with me. I don't know. Do I need to actually fulfill literally every single one of my goals? I think it's kinda unrealistic to be so. It's not about neediness. It's more along the lines of do I actually understand what I want? If I am going to look for such minute things and spend so much of my energy getting angry also when I don't get exactly what I want, whenever I want that thing, is it truly something beneficial to me? Haven't I become far more of an addict to the way, or due to the way to which I interact with the rest of the world? I don't know if I am doing all that good, if I truly have such an issue with the world itself and how everything works and such. But I don't know, I guess to some degree, at the very least, it's certainly possible to just navigate life in a way in which it doesn't feel as necessary to be immersed in that. And that's, I don't know, I guess today I'm not trying to say it's good. Today it's also about that sentiment of, I mean, it's as much of a good thing as, oh yeah, I am the only survivor from a ship that ended up sinking, where literally everyone else died. But I was capable of surviving. I was literally the only survivor. Do I have the capacity to feel good? Is it all that good to discard everyone else? I don't know. I don't think it is all that realistic. I guess the proper idea is along the lines of, yeah, we can cultivate our patience a little bit. It's not so hard, actually. It's not so impossible to have some tiny resemblance of patience and be willing to spend time doing the things that we want without such a hurry in our hearts. But I don't know, do we hear that all that much in anywhere? I don't think so. And I'm not here to try and change the status quo, neither, I guess. Just once again, the nature of things and how everything works and such. And just with that, I'm happy to some degree. But, anyways, that being the point, uh, or just concluding that point, rather, let me drink some water and probably. Yeah, I don't know, things. I was trying to, I wouldn't say preface that. Whether it comes out of nowhere, and I will probably have to make it far bigger thing. Also, because sadly, at least in this point in time, it wasn't the thing that anybody would have been expecting, I guess. But yeah, life is certainly nice in the sense that somehow, yeah, everything has gone well enough so that I don't know. Finally, I will start to have a working PC instead of this one. That's incredibly huge to some degree. I have to probably make many changes, and I remember I said something about a new model and whatnot. it's also time to keep for me to go back to that and start working on that. That one will unavoidably happen once I finally get it. But as I was saying, it's I have somehow already figured things out. It's not so hard to actually create a mental image of the things that you want and put a proper order in how you're going to accomplish them. I guess the whole process of setting up goals and not just not just setting up a thing that you want, but also setting up a way in which you can attain the things that you want in a reasonable manner is a more than sufficient skill to utilize in all scenarios, and therefore, in this case also, it applies that unavoidably, if I want to do something like having a proper model, as I was trying to say before, I have already somehow figured out maybe through which routes you are going to try and do that. But now it's just a matter of we have to work on that. I don't know. It isn't all that crazy for me to it's not for me, as I said before. It's not oh yeah, singular person me. It's anyone can actually figure things out if they allow themselves to do so. The issue is, as always, can I actually choose just one way and commit to that choice that I made, or is it going to be a thing which annoys me for the rest of my existence and whatnot? I don't think it's all that hard. It's unavoidably it's an interesting action to do and it's an interesting thing to participate in, but it is nonetheless something worth trying. So, today, I guess, yeah, it's as things keep on moving towards even greener grasses, as we could say, today is one of those days in which, and also, everything is going in such a nice direction that actually we are progressing far more than what we would have ever expected, or what we would, yeah, what we would have ever expected in the even in the recent past, I will say. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy. I cannot actually complain. I don't think I have the necessity to complain. I don't know. But yeah, besides that, I don't know. It has been a very crazy week. I have to be honest. This week also has been quite crazy. It has been also one of those other weeks in which so much stuff has, as always, I think that it to some degree, I have to assume that if every single week, yeah, at some point I am going to actually get to that realization, it's more along the lines of just because we become far more willing to deal with the reality, it is that we actually find out that indeed many things are always occurring around us. And otherwise, we wouldn't have ever realized or even had the will to participate in all of those events, and not even have an interest in possessing awareness about the stuff that happens. That's the main issue with that concept of oh yeah, so much happens. It's not that nothing actually ever happens. It's just that otherwise I find myself incredibly still yeah incredibly closed up, focused only on me, I guess that would be a proper expression. And at that point, certainly not so much happens. The expression of nothing ever happens becomes far more real. But otherwise, no, you know what? The world has so many things going on. And yeah, it's not just a general statement or a blanket statement for nothingness. It's and yeah, all the things are always moving, and it's nice to see that. I guess personal themes are moving. The The projects that one gets to have are moving, the desires, the interest, everything moves at its own pace, and that is, for me personally at least, good enough. I don't actually need all that much. I don't need a whole action movie, so to speak. I'm happy with this. Right now, I find myself fulfilled with this match. As always, yeah. Unavoidably, the acceptance of even more is also nice, but I know. I'm not, I guess, desperate for trying to have more neither. It's just, finally, it feels like things can be the way in which they are, and one doesn't need to worry so much about anything that is just how it is. And that's the end of it. And let's say it like this, and that in itself being the end of anything, rather than the pile of worries about the wholeness of life itself and how, in so many ways, all the stuff that occurs has to always be negative and whatnot. I don't think so, and I'm happy with that. And so, I don't know. I guess to keep on thinking, probably keep on not just projecting towards the future, to keep on also processing. It has been quite a fun process so far in itself. The action of integrating that far more than ever before. I don't know. I think that, yeah, certainly it's crazy to see so much. Kind of, let's say it like this. Before I said, it's not that nothing ever happens, it's just that we close ourselves to just our own existence. That's why we can have the sensation that nothing else goes on in the world. The reality is we don't have enough of an interest to see what happens out there at all ourselves. But in in a sense, in itself, the action of realizing what happens is far more about the willingness of processing the world. And yeah, there is so much to always process. And I don't know. I think, let me say it like this, I don't think it is all that controversial. It's just the reality of how stuff works. Um, we we can come here and sit down, keep on trying to learn from stuff, keep on trying to integrate things, keep on trying to be humans and feel stuff and such. And it's not so impossible to slowly realize that, yeah, many of the issues in themselves are not so impossible to deal with, I guess. I don't know. I think that's why I somehow find now myself having such a hard time. I think it's kind of crazy to be at a point in time in which, with more certainty than ever before, I guess, it doesn't feel like the idea of, oh no, yeah, there are problems that can never get fixed, let's say, situations in the personal level of the existence of us human beings that can never get solved. Let's call it like that. I don't think that it is the case. Even if there are, I don't know. I don't want to make any kind of a statement now that unavoidably in the future I will look back and say, what the fuck are you saying, brother? You are so unaware, but it's something along the lines of, I don't know. I I wouldn't say I am willing to go blind, or I am capable of going blind and not going incredibly crazy because of that. As always, maybe I am way too attached to something like my vision. Maybe I am too attached to having something like arms. Who knows which kind of situation actually can make one realize that, yeah, we are not so about the problems of the daily existence that we possess. But in this very moment, I can say, yeah, I understand that concept of if if you can actually make yourself feel properly enough, the action of traversing any situation that a life presents is far more feasible. It's not so complicated to experience the world. It's just a question of through enough processing itself, learning how to do that. And unavoidably, I guess the empty, the blank in that statement is something along the lines of if I don't even try to sit down, if I don't realize what I might at all need to do to feel capable of challenging any of the other situations, I will crash out absolutely once I have to confront certain things. But yeah, luckily enough, we're in such a wonderful time. It's not so impossible to be capable of living. I guess it's that whole idea of life is not as hard as other times. This in this occasion being expressed in the pure, almost purest of situations, I guess. As long as you have something like me, as long as you have a roof above your head and food in what's the expression in your table, and I don't know, the comfort of connections with others, something along those lines. I don't know. Even if you don't have that, it's not so hard. But I don't know. As always, I don't want to even get to. Oh no, because I'm implying that those who don't have that are condemned to live in suffering. No, I don't think so, neither. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to propose that there are ways in which unavoidably in this life somebody must always be eternally suffering or something like that. But yeah, at least personally, I can say I think that the person who can have an interest in thinking about themselves might at some point realize that indeed, as long as they continue that whole journey, the process of living life is not as complicated as we used to make it look like once we were just secluded in the image that we used to have of the action itself of living life, you know? As I as I haven't I don't know, talking out in the last I guess it has been like a one big theme of yeah, doing things, moving towards what we want, being there, acting on what we desire and such. All of that is not so impossible, and all of that is not so unachievable to some degree. It's just about the investment of oneself and the actual usage of our energy in all of that. I mean, I don't know. It does sound. Let me say it like this. I remember the times in which I used to actually literally waste my energy on worrying about anything instead of doing the thing in itself which I was worrying about. The pleasure of I don't know. The if you read about it, there are far more pleasurable ways of finding those ideas, but it's a very direct one, the concept of the onanism of the worry created by the anxiety of the situations and the preoccupation with the negative possible outcomes instead of even trying to do anything. Being in that state is far more harmful than actually living and far more difficult than actually being. It's the predicate of existence. It's not such a hard one to carry, I guess. I don't know, and I don't know, I don't know. This doesn't mean that I am saying this with the utmost trust. I guess one of the many things that I have been trying to actually learn about is, for example, that whole concept of, let me, I don't know, I try to not talk about that, but it does serve as a good example. I remember in one of the many things that I have been studying lately, this whole discussion about how people can somehow find themselves at the doors of stuff like suicide unavoidably, and the concept of how, in many instances, besides any sociological description that you want to add to it, you have the idea of somehow the person can, despite having everything good going for themselves, reach the logical conclusion that it might as well be a correct action, unavoidably. Even in those instances, the idea of, because a human is having such a well life, for somehow devoid of, you know what, I am actually not being challenged in any way. Time to fucking restart my run or something along those runs crosses their mind. That idea is still something that unavoidably one has to constantly be checking for. That sentiment, the boredom of existence, and the being reaching that point in which everything becomes meaningless out of nowhere, is a present notion, something to be on the lookout for. But I don't know. Right now, I can say, yeah, it's it's not so hard to be alive. Actually, it's more a matter of, I don't know, not trusting every single one of the ideas that I might have used to have before, or let's say I think about the stuff. Maybe this is true. Maybe it makes in some way sense, understanding in which manner it does make sense actually, not just taking everything at face value. Yeah, that's a more reasonable statement. Thank you. I don't know. It's just what everybody has to go through, I guess. More along the lines of not just manipulation and such, it's learning to not need to impose the sentiment of fear as a part of life. I guess probably it unavoidably falls under the line of, as much as otherwise we think that it is necessary to be in this constant state of happiness, or that whole discourse out of, yeah, no, the current media makes it so that we are always submerged in rage or ecstasy of some sort, and the pleasure seeking behaviors and blah 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 blah. That whole thing, I'm not going to spend all day talking about that. It's the reality of, and yeah, it's not so hard to actually, once again, I sort of mentioned that before, having far more moderation, things can be more pleasurable if you actually learn to not have as much of anything going on otherwise. It's not so necessary. I don't know. Let me say it like this. I I I got another example. I was watching movie, theater. It was, I think it was literally, um, and it was about this guy who. The only thing that I want from that movie was the concept of the guy was a minimalist. The concept of having only 100 things. Unavoidably, I don't try to take it to the extremes. I don't think it is that useful even to be so extremist with any kind of action that we take towards the approach itself that we end up having towards life. It's better to slowly make sure that we learn to live with less than to out of nowhere impose onto us. Yeah, you know what? I am going to get rid of literally everything. I'm only going to have a X number of things. But the idea of, in this case, learning to not have an overabundance rather than to be worried because one day you lost track of everything that you have. I don't know. I don't. We are still in this space, and I am not the best guy to talk about that in some degree. But the whole concept of, for example, I remember hearing this idea. There are so many people adding so much more games today to their wish list. For example, on this Steam, the biggest platform for online gaming, I guess. That one has people adding more games to their wish lists now than ever before. And the issue is, even if people buys them, it happens that we don't even play what we have. And it's so easy for us to forget everything that we have. And I don't know. It's surprising to me to see how much that has become the norm in those aspects. It's like somehow, yeah, we do normalize a lot of things. And unavoidably in the process of becoming more tolerant with one another. Oh yeah, it's my money. I get to fucking spend it however I want. You don't get to dictate. I am an adult, so blah. It's fine, but at the same time, at, nobody wants to actually talk out. Wow, let's get so many things that we're never going to utilize. Let's we literally work ourselves so much for things that we don't want, that we don't care about. I don't know, man. it's 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 crazy. At least let me stay on that barracks of saying it's crazy. Unavoidably, it's crazy. It's it's good to also see that life has enough simple things to enjoy. Not always everything needs to be so complicated. No matter how much we have advanced, not everything is better just because in itself it is a more technological invention or something like that. And I don't know, once again, still. But how much of a contradiction that is, or you are literally saying that just as you are getting a new PC, well, the guy who talks about not being such a consumer, getting a new asset, I don't know, bro. Yeah, wow, human beings having contradictions, who would have predicted that? It's just that sometimes says we make way too much of a big deal out of things that shouldn't need to be such big deals. And I prefer when things can stay rather normal, you know? I don't need to be worried about everything. Even if it is a quote unquote valid worry or a reasonable new reason to be looking out there for. Even if I shouldn't be using so much time in worrying. And personally, yeah, I think it's fine. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know. As I was as I was saying, I guess, or not exactly saying, changing onto stuff. Um, and besides this, the year is almost ending, I guess. I we're almost there, certainly, in terms of time. Unavoidably, as always. I always. I mean, it's not just something about my family. Every person that slowly grows up gets to that point of, oh wow, time seems to fly so much. Unavoidably, brother. Have you just now realized that time flies? That life keeps on moving no matter what we do? Wow, what a surprising realization. But without even having to, I guess, as a basic rapid text explanation, there is this whole thing that happens in the brain that has, I think it hasn't been fully explained, but if I'm not making it up, if I remember correctly, it's based in the way in which one of the many parts of the brain that is associated with time recognition itself slowly ages, and it's not just about deterioration, it's also related to how we process in itself time. 1 second for someone, besides the measurement of the sentiment of 1 second in itself, the sensation of what 1 second, 1 day, 1 year feels like is vastly different for somebody who is literally just a newborn from somebody who is like 90. And as always, you shouldn't even be trusting me. You can actually look that up. You can Google, oh wow, time perception through time, through age. How much our time perception changes as we age and such. That stuff should make it more than obvious, I guess. But my point is, I'm not going or trying to that. Anyways, even if we are close, there are still so many other things going on. As always, having busy days is such a thing. And I guess, yeah, still, in that sense, we kind of trace back to moderation to some degree. Life can be so entertaining. To not lose oneself in the things that we actually like is such a complicated task, not because the things that we actually like are in themselves so annoying, but rather because even the most entertaining things and the most generally accepted actions can lead to damaging consequences once we lose control of our own energies spent on the things themselves which we like to do and which we focus on doing. As in, even if something vastly like as, I don't know, what is something regarded as positive? I guess physical exercise. Even something as positive as physical exercise can unavoidably have the worst consequences. Somebody who works out, let's say, easiest example, somebody who works out 10 hours a day is going to probably unavoidably damage themselves irreparably in the long run. So, stuff like that. Having control over those things and properly learning to not not destroy oneself, even if we are doing quote unquote good things, It's still quite a journey. And why do I bring that up? Because I was saying, and in these instances, it also happens that, yeah, the year is ending, but actually you have those things going on, and I don't know, I mean, it's basically 2 months at this point, or a month and 20 days. Wow, what a big difference, brother. As if in Christmas, it literally isn't the most empty holiday of existence. Or, oh wow, no, wow, I cannot believe it. I have to be worried with getting me and my family together and having to spend that time. Wow, what a crazy day. What an incredibly laborious day. No, it's that whole process of rituals and such. It's not that complicated. And besides those times that are still ahead, everything else is still an opportunity to live, to do things. Some, somehow, we have become now more than ever quite incapable of understanding how things work throughout time. We have made some things like, I don't know. I think, I mean, it's a realistic statement. Oh no, wow, but you have to be a proper writer. You have to be a trained writer to write a good novel. No, fuck that. You know what? You have actually something that you truly want to write. You have an idea that you truly think is worth writing. As long as you're capable of sitting yourself down and doing that, even if it takes you sleepless nights, it's possible to do that in a week, in a month. There is still time to do great things. Oh wow. You can plant a tree. It's not so complicated. Somehow some of those quote unquote great things have become mythified so much, have gained such an overcomplicated image of themselves. The action is quite easy. You truly just need to be willing to do it, and that's it. It's this whole concept. I don't want to say it in a sense, but on the other hand, I don't think it's. Let's say I'm in the middle of a schizophrenic episode, so don't take me seriously. But this idea of, you know what? In many places, you find something that says, oh no, yeah, will enough isn't capable of allowing you to do what you want. You have to be perseverant and things. What the fuck do you think gives you the capacity to do that? Determination? What is determination if not literally will? What? How do you think people can achieve their dreams? Just because they say, oh yeah, today I'm going to torture myself with something that is incredibly hard for the sake of it? No. People possess an objective that they are capable of working through even the bad, quote unquote, bad things so that they make it happen, but it's not so much about, oh no, yeah, yeah. If you have will, you're not going to achieve what you want. You possess enough will, and that's it. That's the whole formula. That's the entire formula, actually. But, anyways, we are not here to talk about such things. Anyways, we we are not people who says anything of such remarkness. I guess it's easier if we just stay in the simpler realm of, and yeah, at least, even if there is no will to actually accomplish anything complicated, quote unquote, life is survivable no matter what. So I'm happy with that personally, and I think it's not so hard to talk about it. It's I think yeah, I remember that eternal idea of no, 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 no. Please, for the love of God, Don't you dare talk about how well you're doing. I guess, I don't know, maybe to some degree, the concept of the proper explanation at the right time, but we are talking about this stuff, so I say it before, prefaced this whole conversation with I am losing it absolutely, don't take me seriously. This idea of somehow also in those spaces where people are in such negative situations that you don't even possess the right to talk about anything good that happens to you, in which the action of realizing that, oh yeah, we don't have to be in a constant depressed mood is seen as something bad. That thing, and slowly getting to move to past that is quite a nice thing also. And I guess it's part of that in this case, getting to also learn to say that, wow, unavoidably, it's nice. It's nice to have another day to breathe. I wouldn't say exactly fresh air, but breathe. And that's good. That's better than nothing, at the very least. But well, I don't know. Towards the future, I have still to continue looking towards the future and adjusting things and making things make sense, I guess. And such, I it's going to be quite hard actually. I it's going to be quite hard to arrange everything. Even more. I I guess I have been sort of teasing it. I said before, yeah, that somehow before this year ends, we will have the new PC and such, and I will have to probably organize myself properly for that. But I don't know. It's not that I don't want to make any promise that I can't fulfill. It's more along the lines of, I guess my worries are somewhere else. I don't know. I guess I am quite distrustful of the whole structure of things here. So if they say, or no matter how hard they try to insist that, oh yeah, yeah, we are a, we are a good company. I don't know, brother. Let me receive my product. After that, I will say if it was actually good or not. So first thing is to see if it works, and after that, we're going to actually be thinking about anything else. Ah, the whole idea of being scammed. Sadly, if something is real in this current era, is how much of a possibility it is for people to get scammed. What a. I don't know, I guess it is a sad thing in itself that we have so much people willing to spend so much energy in making sure that they can catch others off guard so that we can benefit, and we have made so many regulations around all of these systems that it is possible for people to quote unquote legally, or at least without as many repercussions, gain things that they might as well have not truly deserved. Through the process itself was certainly scamming. That is quite a crazy thing, I guess. But on the other hand, being somewhat honest, it's not so much about, oh wow, it's 100% I'm going to get scammed. That's more like a paranoid mentality. I don't know if we actually need that particular mindset that much. I don't know. I don't think it's all that useful to be all that paranoid. I prefer to be paranoid about myself. About the rest. It's far easier. Let's say it like this. It's far easier to learn to be paranoid about oneself and to realize that certainly we can be quite a hindrance to our own existence in many aspects because that eternal discussion of, oh wow, yeah, it's not just me as a conscious being, but also my more secret aspect of the unconscious mind, and anything else that lays in all of those areas that isn't directly related with what I can access that so obviously. That is a better thing to be cautious about than, or to be paranoid about than what somebody is trying to sell me. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And I guess I would have learned my lesson. If it happened and I got scammed, we're going to see anyway. It's too early to take any conclusion out of that. The point being, yeah, the world doesn't deserve so much worry in that sense. Not so much time spent actually losing sleep over the issues that it possesses, I guess. That's a proper way to say it. But whatever. Besides that, I don't know, man. Trying to make sense of things as always. Wow, who would have expected that? What a big new big news for the unemployed. Ah, there are so many things to actually keep on figuring out. It's fine, man. And at least, as always, willingness to it, and that's it. The interesting continuing to seek stuff out. That's much better than nothing at all. I guess, I mean, to some degree, it can sound so much like nothing, but maybe I haven't actually been all that explicit about it before. To some degree, on a other, because it is hard to be so honest about those more personal things, but yeah, certainly. If that spark of interest, of a desire to understand the stuff disappeared, I would most certainly not be here today. It's it has been such a wonderful journey. They want to get to be here, even in days like this one, because there is that eternal, not need, but rather interest in exploring all the other stuff and understanding all the other things that at some point or another we end up talking about. So it's not actually that much of a no deal to say, oh yeah, so much more to keep on integrating and learning out and comprehending and whatnot. It's literally the fundamental aspect of this. The human curiosity in its most basic form, literally. So it's fine. It's necessary, I guess. And it's good to be capable of working on it as always. But, well, oh well, who will have guessed if it isn't us again? Ah. Sorry. I don't know. I guess I probably should. No, not that I should. I actually have to take a tiny idle break. So thank you very much for your patience. But yeah, I will have to leave. And also, that thing, I guess, based on what I understand so far, it seems to be that, I don't know, I lose focus. I might get too lost in the sauce or something. I actually don't know when or how exactly, but when I sit here for too long, my head actually starts to it's not exactly hard. It's more like, I don't know, I don't oxygenate enough. I forgot to fucking breathe or something, so yeah. Give me 2 seconds. I will actually shut up and do other stuff. Thank you. The expression is idle meeting. So yeah, we'll go have that. You mean no? I can't remember. I watched some holos say it differently to what I used to say before, and they fucked me up because of that. Blame the holos. It's never my responsibility. Anyway. Anyway. Hey, Bisous here. Sorry, I'm back. I was I was thinking, wow, who would have predicted that? I was thinking, something funny that happened was I realized something. I kinda wonder. Yeah, I think it's not all that bad to actually be capable of admitting it. I wonder to have not actually an ASMR. I think it's just a receptive enough microphone, something along those lines, something that can actually work and make it work the action of capturing stuff like me cracking my bones. I think it will be like taking into consideration that we have so little stuff going on here. Those noises that can keep the mind occupied. Also, because I mean, I don't know. Probably because I do have the tendency to do that myself, like over time. And so it's I don't think it's a false statement that literally every single stream that happens when I stream at some point or another, I end up somehow somewhere cracking at the very least one joint or something like that. So it would be good, good to have one of those, probably. But I don't even know. It's. I'm just saying this as an excuse for something that I did think out while I was trying to release a little bit the mind and such. But anyway, I don't know. Life, life is oh dear, and what a wonderful thing it is. Anyway, I don't know. I guess if I had to admit something, I think that one of the many things that will happen, I don't even remember if I have Black Mesa, but what will happen is we're probably going to try and finish, start from the beginning and then finish Half Life. That's going to be something. And if I have, if I have in blank that I have it, Black Mesa, we are going to play that also. But that's my dream from there on. We are going to see where life takes us. I don't know. We have to still figure things out. So, point being, at the very least, one decision has been taken today. Wow, so wonderful. It wasn't as empty as one could have thought otherwise, you know? So, thankful for that. But, what else? I don't know. I haven't. I mean, besides that, it has been such a crazy journey lately, I guess. Until, or since, let's say like that, yeah. Since the last checkpoint, so many things have happened. It has been so. One of the many events that I remember going through, that I still remember going through, is I think I have that realization at least once a month, probably, but I forget talking about it because it's so simple yet so weird to some degree, or so recurrent also. But it is, I don't know. I was trying to talk about that before in terms of, oh, yeah, we as human beings lose so much of our existence in things that don't matter. Yeah, I mean, I also do that. And something funny is, no matter how hard I try, I can lose myself on slope of the most basic kind. And after that, I literally cannot remember any of it somehow. I don't know what the fuck happens with those memories, but it's slope is so bland. It's literally impossible to carry it back to memory. I don't know what's the proper expression, but yeah, it's interesting to see to some degree that things. It's not even like they are not entertaining. It's once again, I could sit down and binge watch an entire sitcom probably at this point of my life, but I actually am not going to do that. It's such a no matter how much the action itself is enjoyable, there are so little memories that remain. It's so useless in the end. It's weird to see that happens. I don't know. I unavoidable if I say something along the lines of I wish I was different and I could enjoy those things more. Once again, uh, the bat of the wings of a butterfly can create hurricanes capable of destroying entire continents. So, no, the point is, I guess it's just what it is, but nonetheless, it's weird. You will have thoughts that we all will have succumbed far more to slope, I guess. That's the expression that I'm trying to go for. And luckily enough, that's not the case. We can still focus on other things and actually utilize our time still on what we like and what we enjoy and what we want to do and such. So, I'm happy with that and I will continue doing what I like also. No, still, we have to see. Uh, but well, that's how. Huh? Naya? Also, is the is the alert going to pop up, or do I do? Why don't I have? I have alerts. They don't work. It's so incredibly over. Welcome, Naya and Raiders. Welcome, Milo. Welcome, Snow Dweller. Welcome, Naya. Welcome, people. Uh, so so incredibly low effort. It's not like I don't have. It's not like I don't have alerts. Blame alerts for not working, not me. Not me for not getting one, despite me knowing that they don't work. Blame something else. Right? No, shout out. That's the command that I am looking for. Why do they actually not work? Wait, chat isn't even working. Ah, so Kino. Anyway, thank you for the ride. I hope you have a good time talking about fetishes. No, sorry. Uh, playing the Binding of Isaac. And yeah, shout out. Does it have an underscore? No, it doesn't. There we go. Despite not having a what, we can do stuff still. No problem. So yeah. Thank you. No problem. It's the norm. It's fine. As always, I guess I don't know. Raid etiquette is something along the lines of if you have to raid and leave, thank you so much. You already did your part. You are all wonderful. Have a wonderful night, day, rest of your existence. That's what matters. I don't know. Don't worry too much. But yeah, I don't know what was I saying? I think I wasn't saying anything. I was. You know what happened recently? I watched Chibidoki. Chibidoki is so good. You should probably consider watching Chibidoki. Today we are here to chill Chibidoki. Sorry, no. It's that's not the message. The message is I don't know. Life is good. That's the actual message. That has been the whole topic of today. I guess not much actually. Things things have been going pretty well, and that's what I have been trying to say. Uh, Trying to actually explain it in a way in which it doesn't feel so empty. That whole idea of how are you doing? I'm doing fine. How are you? But not just the actual response of oh yeah, I am doing fine. Parenthesis, I am dead inside, but I cannot tell you that because both you and me are not prepared to hear that. No. It's I am doing fine. Parenthesis, we are incredibly good. Life is in its pinnacle. So good luck. Good luck living life, I guess. Something like that. I don't know. It's the end of the year, I guess. Think about it like this, yeah. It's a reasonable idea. It's the end of the year. There is no need to worry so much, I guess. Um, do we need to go on to the last 1 or 2 months of this 2025 angry? Maybe not. Maybe at least personally, I choose rather to just let go of it. It's easier to do that. I would rather not get rage bait. I would rather not. Thank you. Or not. It's not like you can avoid it to some degree. It's not like you can avoid it at this point even anything that is of that sort. Like even with friends and such, there is that eternal discussion, and that as a way of being, getting in some way, shape, or form stuff that tries to get a rise out of you. It exists, just not having that rise in itself. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's what I'm fine with. I don't know. I I think that it's fine. And I don't know, we still have a whole life ahead of us, so better to look forward to that. We, even if this year is ending, let's say, we still have 2026, and after that, 2027, and after that, 2028, and after that, 2029, and after that, so many more years. So, I don't know. How do you even picture something like that? Let's say it like this: sit down, take it easy, and continue existing. That's the main message of today. That's, if something has to be learned from today, that's it. That's the thing that I get out of this. Continuing, moving forward. I guess that's part of the idea. Certainly, certainly. But as much as we say that, it always can be difficult at times. I mean, unavoidably. Today I can, as always, today I can feel like a king. Tomorrow I will be just another beggar in the pile, destroyed and destitute from my happiness, incapable of enjoying anything, no matter what happens. At least, even if these two shall pass, we are fine with that. Not so much of, oh wow, no, so so sad. But anyway, I don't know. I am. I didn't really have that much to say. Thank you. Uh, Probably I have to continue studying. I'm incredibly not worried. I am just bored as fuck of having to study. What a, it's so entertaining to study, but at some point I keep on saying that things are incredibly repeating. So I don't know. Uh, Study something that isn't repetitive. I guess that's my recommendation. But the human psyche is not as complicated as we like to make it when we don't understand anything. So, just to continue on the grind, I remember today I was reminded of this. What was it? It was a woman. I don't remember the context. Also, welcome, Crispin. I hope you're doing well. Uh, Good evening. Sorry, I'm not going to. I'm not going to say anything. I just want to say good evening. Thank you. That's. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. But what? What? Ah, yeah, yeah. I was reminded of this. I guess it was in the Australian Parliament. The woman that went to what? What was the context? I don't exactly remember. The one that ended up talking with like brain rot dialogue, brain rot speech. It's so crazy to see that has become like the norm somehow. That has become. We have already diverted ourselves onto that. Happy November? Yeah, indeed. Have an incredibly good November. A wonderful November. A peaceful November. Ah. Ah. Sorry. Sorry. Ah. Skibidi? Skibidis. Ah, skibidis, yeah. It was. No, nah. No, sorry. It's so crazy to see that the English doesn't have the nah. Why does English not have the nah? English isn't as hip as Spanish. They need to institute the nah. You can't not have the nah. You need to make it official, man. You need to step up your game, bro. No, what's the expression? Step up your game, dog. You cannot be slacking on that show like this. You have to increase. What's your aura with more? Hip is already an incredibly old expression. up to date. I don't know. I'm not up to date myself. I just know I it's like when you can hear somebody who has an accent, I can do that, but I cannot speak it myself. But it's fine. It's not like I don't know. Even I guess I will have to learn to speak like my children today. I have them. Not right now. I have to worry about speaking like a new cool hip boy who has like 12 years. It's not time for that yet. I don't want to do that. So yeah, it's not time yet. At some point in life, that has to come for any man who has to go through the process of bringing somebody up. Is that a proper expression? Yeah. Um, but not now. So, at least for now, no need to learn brain rot. And what will we call it tomorrow is what we have to ask ourselves. Is this is brain rotten language? Will be the renaissance of language be the next era? Will the kids of the future be speaking the most brilliant and eloquent expressions ever heard? Because what are we doing with these tools for communication that we have right now? Sorry. Uh, I don't know. Sometimes I have to be honest. I understand, or sort of, I understand. I sort of understand. I think I make way too many jokes that I like. I laugh about literally myself. Anyway, that's the point. Why, if you're going to do something, why not do it and have show yourself? What's the point? Why are you going to torture yourself so much if you're not going to be a little bit playful? What whimsy? The concept of whimsy. What a wonderful idea that was. That I said I wasn't going to shield anything. It takes. I don't know, man. You should watch good things. Let's say like that. Let's say like that. Not such a direct shield, but yeah. Don't get rage baited. Get soy baited. Probably. I mean, both of them are like bait, so don't get baited at all. Get actionated. Wow. No, that's literally not an expression. I think. Do do stuff and enjoy consuming active consumption instead of passive consumption. That concept, that concept is far better, far more useful, far more wonderful indeed. But yeah, no. Point being, I don't actually know. It's such is life. Not everything needs to have a structure. It's just how things work. I mean, otherwise, I remember. Let me say like this. Let me say like this. I remember having heard this whole expression of, brother, you don't say anything. What do you want me to say? It's I already have this, and with this, I am more than happy. I don't need to always say something. It's not always necessary to say something. We can also have times of hearing. It's good to have those moments in which we pay attention to someone else. So, at least we have these tiny breaks from reality, I guess, at least from my side, thankfully enough. So yeah, uh, after this, it's I don't have anything to say. Not too much goes on, and I don't know. It's not like no trouble exists, but that's also not the point of this space. Oh no, yeah, it's such a negative place. We haven't dealt with all the issues that it has. Yeah, wow. More news at 5. There are still people hungry in this world. Who will have thought? But first and foremost, as always, we fix ourselves. We don't fix anything else, or we fail in what we try to do. I, I, I don't know. I guess. Anyway, let me leave this thought here. Let me plant this seed. Sorry. Uh, I remember. Fuck. I remember a song. Why now? It was a good thought, but now I have to tell a joke. So I'm a comedian now. Ah, I mean, after all, if we don't laugh, what do we do? Cry? The world already has enough suffering. So let me tell you the joke. I remember it doesn't even work on English. It's a joke that works in Spanish. Anyway, picture this. There are like two. There is a family speaking, and they are talking about things, and out of nowhere, the little kid asks the eternal question: How does a man and a woman have a baby? And the father answers, "Well, you see, son, the man puts a tiny seed with within mom's tiny hole, and then and we are a baby 13, so that's where the joke ends. Sorry, but no, I was saying I thought about that phrase. I was saying I'm going to try to plant another seed, but yeah, sorry for getting sidetracked. Eh, don't worry about it. Don't worry. I was saying. Sorry, I'm not a comedian. Don't trust my jokes. The police. But no, I was on the line of what was I actually trying to say? Ah, what a wonderful question. No, see, I remember. I remember. See, it happened to me. I mean, it's like an eternal question, but when it isn't like the line between what's it's like philosophical discussion and philosophical discussion like incredibly blurry. Like aren't we here most of the time talking about psychology? Isn't the theme of philosophy like an entire blanket term to some degree? I don't know. Uh, I think it's interesting, but is it that bad? Do we have to say that it is a philosophical question to wonder out the nature of the human being? I don't think it is that crazy, but yeah, that's the question of the week, I guess. Please submit your answers on the forum. I will be reading. I will be reading your answers by Monday at 5. And it will be a great assignment. Thank you. Sorry. Anyway, uh, I don't know. I to keep on studying and to keep on doing other things and such and being whimsical. Be whimsy. Wait, no, 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 no. I remember something else. Holos are allowed on Twitch? We are so vague. But at the same time, Twitch is kind of lying so much. Why is there so much drama in Twitch? Are we going to become a drama channel right now? No, but I don't know. I probably should start multi-streaming myself. I think it's not that crazy to ask that. Yeah, if you're still there, did you multi-stream in the end? You forget to do that? Did you multi-stream? Anyways, the point is, I have to multi-stream myself. I don't know. Being honest, let me say like this. Let me say like this. Being honest, I kinda fear for the future of this platform. Having to be honest, it's kinda dangerous how everything is looking right now. I wouldn't be so. I don't know. I think there was even this new about Amazon firing so many people from Twitch. Or not exactly Twitch. There was somebody on the front end of Twitch who got fired. I remember that particular new. I mean, that even got covered by people. So yeah, unavoidably that one was well known. But people being fired, it's so over. Is Twitch dying? Question mark. Is the one true king has died? Hmm. I think they fired a decent amount. No, yeah. I mean, it was from the whole situation. It was like 30,000 or the whole. Not exactly. They were fired. They were told that they are getting fired. That's the particularities of the story. Through all of Amazon services and through the whole process of that, people from Twitch also got fired. And most of them, yeah, quote unquote, luckily, had to do with the situations that happened within TwitchCon and such, which was also like entire whole set of drama in itself also, but not drama. The MMO, yeah. The MMO, what was it? The World New Horizons. It isn't New Horizons. Uh, I don't remember the name. Sorry. The name of the game. I know which game you're talking about, but I don't remember the. But yeah, they announced that it is shutting down. It's incredibly over. I mean, I don't know. Are we politics? I have the politics warning, so at least I can say that. But I think it has to do the situation of the layoffs is somehow people has become more willing to not have such a high salary. There is an elephant in the room that we are not going to address as to why people, for some reason, want cheaper salaries. But yeah, people are willing to get cheaper salaries, so you can fire older stuff just to give younger people far more accessible salaries. Sadly, and yeah, on the other hand, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Unavoidably, based on what I have been learning, sadly, the whole way in which we approach AI and such is still the situation of, you know what, we have to invest, we have to make sure that AI is integrated within everything. And I think people, the average person, doesn't actually understand how much of a bubble that is. My Even my mother, who doesn't even interact that much with the stuff, ended up somehow consuming like Sam Friedman, and I had to have a conversation during which she came and regurgitated the idea of, oh no, yeah, in the next 20 years there will be no more jobs. Are you crazy? You think we are not going to have capitalism anymore? I I don't wanna sound rude, but I don't think that AI is going to be all that revolutionary unavoidably, yeah, it is having an impact in the economy of the world, but it's not like all human needs are going to get solved. Did we need machines to solve that? I don't think so. And we already had them before. I'm not so capable of believing that everything will be fixed now because finally people are being awakened to the power of ChatGPT. Wow! No, it isn't going to happen. But anyway, that's kind of a dark idea actually. I don't know. As long as we're alive, we're fine. That's the counterpoint. Counter argument, we are still alive. So that's good enough. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, living under a bridge is also being alive. I wouldn't say that is all that good. Being completely schizophrenic is probably also being alive. I don't know if that is good. But we are not going to look further into what I say. Uh, I have actually run out of water. No, no. So it's incredibly over. It's also like almost 2 in the clock. 2 in the clock? No, 2 o'clock for me. So before it gets even fucking later, can I? It's this wonderful. No, 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 no. Let's do this because otherwise I don't do it. Can somebody tell me who to raid? Thank you. If not, if not, I don't know. It's like I know I am being like incredibly cheap because I am the one here doing literally the show, but no, that's how things work. Sorry, I am lazy indeed. Now just now you find out about that, but no. Anyway, we have to look for someone. Such are things right now. Such are things right now. Thank you. It's not like it's actually bad. It's just the being a lazy person. Don't be lazy. Be a free but active soul. Don't let what's the sin? What's the cardinal sin? Sloth come onto your life. You will regret that eternally. Uh, Stream together? No. What? Manage? No. Raid? Yeah, no. It's a raid on phone. Oh, I hate this clunky. Anyways, can happen, will happen, shall happen, I guess. I don't know. The experience of being in Twitch is having to deal with all the incredible scuffness of the platform itself, also at this point. So, why even get angry about that? It's, it's part of the Twitch experience. Something has to go wrong at some point. I mean, we already have the already have the entire thing going on. Not working. Stream elements for some reason not working at all today. We didn't have chat the whole stream, right? It's so wonderful. I love this. It's free. I cannot actually complain. Anyway, me as always. Thanks for everything. It has been a wonderful evening, night, day, and yeah. What's wrong? How good night, Naya. Thank you for being here. But I was saying. Wait, I'm trying to see if I put the name correctly. I put, did I? Yeah, I did. There we go. I'm so good at my show. I literally have one thing to do, and I can do it properly. Wow! Please clap your hands. But no, sorry. I was saying, as always, thanks for being here. Thanks for the patience, the interest, the everything. It's a wonderful time being here. Have a wonderful life. be responsible, be happy, smile, hire it. I don't know, do stuff. Don't worry so much. Don't worry. Be happy. Yeah. Anyway, see you next time. And even if we don't get to do that, have a wonderful one. Thank you. And this is like a placeholder because we actually have to wait. If I hit right now, for some reason, it cuts off, and it's so incredibly funny. The platform being clunky. Oh no, who would have expected that? Wow. Twitch clunkiness? Wow.